Good morning. We are 30 seconds away from market open, and today we are starting a brand new combine. So I want to go through a journey and see if I can pass this combine by documenting every trade, every thought process, in as little or as long as time as possible. The goal here isn't perfection. I'm going to lose a ton of trades. I'm going to win as well. But the goal is to manage our risk, be honest about when we're wrong, and just accept it. So market just opened 9:30, right? We saw a pump right here, but what am I looking at for today? We had a key zone up here around 25.9, 25.600 is around the top, but 2 points of rejection last week. And so I'm looking for that in the long term, maybe some sort of break, retest, go, or just another third point of rejection, right? So a triple top and then reject. Preferably today, I see this, the colors don't really matter. I see more of this elongated bear flag. Even though we did break out, we came right back in. And so if we can stay in this range or some sort of version of it, that's what I'm looking for, right? Maybe I want to look for rejection, and in the next 20, 30 minutes, if we can hold it, give me some sort of break. Also, this is a key zone for me down here, with a rejection at the 15-minute and then a lot of wicks off of it. So another confirmation would be a break of this zone, come back, retest it. And let me see if I can figure out how to do the drawing tool. Ah, yes, okay, here. So something like this, right? And then here, and then straight down. So entry would be here. Do do do. If we were enter a short, we'd probably enter somewhere around here. Um, Risk would be right back within the zone, and then you minimum want a 1-to-1, but there would be a 2-to-1 right there. Something like that, right? If it sets up. Strong buying pressure right now. I don't usually like to trade the immediate open unless I have some serious structure. So if we don't get that off the bat, I am not going to force anything. So right now we're just watching, we're waiting, and I'll probably fast forward this and skip to the part where something actually happens. So if we don't take a trade today, that's okay too. Manage the risk. My rule for today, if I get two losses back to back, I'm done. Um, but I do have, a dollar goal in mind, but you just don't want to stay too structured on that. So but the goal for today is two losses. If I hit two losses on trades, I'm done. I'm closing the books. If it doesn't go quickly, I'm cutting it. It's gonna go in my favor in the long term anyways. So that's why we're here. So yeah, we'll wait. Obviously it's 9:30, so we're going to see higher volatility. Another thought that interests me based off the same structure is we're seeing a good push, right? If we can, I mean, we're only 3 minutes into the open, right? This could come up and flush down. This could flush up and then retest. I'm a very big on break and retest. I want confirmation that the move has a higher probability of continuing rather than just chasing. Because let's say if I entered here, my stop was here. If it comes back to here, I'm stopped out. I miss the entire rest of the move up. But if I can get an entry down here and my stop loss is even tighter, my risk to reward is greater. So that's the key aspect of patience within trading that you kind of have to manage. Currently just higher, 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 higher. I am not willing to chase this. If anything, I'd rather short it. But the key aspect of trading is, okay, well, if you're going to call the reversal, where are you wrong? Because this could just climb all the way back up to our point of rejection. And if it did that, you just blew your account. So protecting myself, I don't see any key area unless I really wanted to try to force anything. We're only 5 minutes in. We've got the full day. Just sit on your hands, be patient, and wait. Something will make sense at some point. Okay, we have our first slightly red candle. If you wanted to try to look for it, right, I want to start to see some weakness, but look, it's still going. That's why you don't chase. So, but it's always good to stay on your toes, figure out how's the market moving, why is it moving in this direction, what are buyers thinking, what are sellers thinking, where's the key points of um, give and take, where are they right, where are they wrong. We are coming up to this point right here. This seemed to be a key battle for about 15 minutes last week. um, Looks like we're trying to break through. So I would say this is a idea of resistance right here, but then once we get up to here, you see where the chop increases, kind of in this range. That is where we would start to see some more rejection in this area right here. We drag that out, we can have that in real time. Now, just because I'm making this zone does not mean I'm calling the reversal. I'm not saying, hey, I'm guaranteeing this is going to reverse, right? I want to see it on a larger time frame to support this, um, and then go. But so far, this move hasn't equated to my strategy at all. So we're just sitting back, being patient. I'll be right back. All right. Let's see what's happening on the 1 minute. Very strong buying this morning. I mean, just straight up, right? If you tried to short it here, you're trapped. If you tried to short it here, when we saw our first red candle, it ended up being green, you're trapped. And now people who are short are starting to freak out. So no need to chase this quite yet. These are our key areas of starting to see resistance. So another idea going through my head, usually when we get up to here, we'll either start to reject in the middle of the range. If we don't, we can easily break higher. So if I want to scale into a short position, which essentially just means um, playing that the market will start to reverse. And so instead of just going straight up, more starting to trend down. So right, what have we done so far? We're just straight up, right, up to this point. But if we get up to here or even here, you might start to see some curvature, and then we could come all the way back down. That's an idea, right? It's not a guarantee. In the moment, we want to start to look for signs. How do we see those signs? We want to see reactions off key levels from the past, which we already have marked out of those zones. And even we can support this theory with the time and sales, and then some sort of short-term downward structure, whether that is a bear flag, or just um, something like that. So this is our first real sign of weakening up to this area. So in my head, um, the safest play would be to scale into a shorter position when we get up to a higher time frame, right? If we come down here and we have a nice push up, that would be more selective for an entry for a long, because I've entered here and we come down where we're going to retrace. So for me, right, there could be value right here for other traders, but for me, there's no value in jumping into a position. So I'm just gonna wait until we get to some more value, right? If I want to go short, I want to go short when it's high. If I want to go long, I want to go long when it's lower. This to me just seems like the middle of the range, and people who were long in this zone are starting to sell, and then people who were short in the zone are just praying and hoping that they can get out break even. So if they held this long. Not to mention, this is a key area. So if you guys don't know anything about futures trading, if you're watching this, I would assume that you do, but I'm just approaching it from a point of knowing nothing. It trades very equivalently to QQQ, and so where we are on QQQ right now is very close to a key rejection level, right? So it's right at 628. I've seen I've seen a lot of moves where we get a points of rejection and we just fly. So this could be a key zone. I do have a strategy for a breakout like that. It's more on the 15 minute. But I just, this is where a lot of sellers are saying, hey, we're getting really good value for selling here because if you're selling up here, it means you either bought here, 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 or maybe even here in the past 2 days. So just keeping that in mind, right? There's no guarantees, but you want to formulate any ideas and kind of compound them to build the overall concept, the structure of the market. We are starting to see that little bit of a bend I was talking about, but still no confirmation. So it just that much buying pressure right off open, even though we did start pretty low, like we gapped down over the weekend, it's still a lot of people buying up, so no need to chase. All right, we've got 1 minute until we form a new 15-minute candle, so I'm keeping that in mind. Very close to kind of the idea that we had for rejection. Okay.
Order filled.
Oh gosh, that's not what you want to see. Not this. This is a great move. Let's go ahead and stop out to break even. I'm going to start scaling out of my
Order
position.
filled. Order filled. Order filled.
That is totally fine. Could have continued, but usually when you see some kind of downtrend like that, it's going to move a lot quicker. I actually had a technical error. I'm trying to move my face from the screen and it's totally locked in. So I'm going to have to adjust my face size because I was trying to mess with the DOM on the right side and that kind of messed me up there. Um, so another technical error, which can really interrupt trading. But I thought it was a good trade, right? I saw a really hard aggressive sell-off. We said we planned for something like this. I would have liked to see a little better continuation. I probably moved my stop a little too quickly. But with my face in the way, I just was just like, look, if this turns on me, I'm not even focused 'cause I'm trying to fix my camera so I can see my average position and then scale out the way I normally do. That's fine. So live and learn, right? I didn't know that once you started the recording, you can't move the face in the progress or like shrink the size. So something to learn. We'll hone that in next time. I would like my face to get out of the way so that way I could put this back. That would be very nice. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording for now, fix my screen, and then we'll be back in a second. New issue. Um, The moment I went to record the second one, I recorded the whole time and I go and I either ran out of storage or my laptop froze or CapCut, the new system I'm using, also froze on me. I switched to CapCut because I had problems with Loom last time, so it's just a few more technical errors. But I want to break down the trade that I did take. So we originally tried to do a reversal here. We made, I think, like 38 bucks. Didn't continue. We had marked out this range that you guys are familiar with. And then I was noticing a potential bull flag on the 1 minute. And so that is where we captured it. I think we entered somewhere around here. Um, I can actually look at the order and figure out the exact time of entry. Remember that. 881 right here. And then we had very little drawdown, and we just scaled into it as it moved down with our stop loss right below this wick, actually at the low of this wick. And so if we had lost, we would have lost about $1,000. And then so it was about a 1.5 to 1 R trade. For combines, I typically do trade them a little more aggressively because you're not actually making real money. It's just get to the point. And I passed a few of at this point. So it's more of a business expense if I do pass or fail it. So anyway, got this. We got take profit with this green candle. Hit our $1,500 for the day, and we're done. I'm going to figure out these technical issues and try to get more consistent with this. So I'm gonna edit up the video and then hopefully you guys see it. So feel free to drop in the comments if you have any questions. And hopefully we'll just continue to stay consistent, find people who enjoy this content, and go from there. So thanks for watching. All right, I just finished up editing the video, and I feel like I didn't really explain this trade too well. We were talking about how it was very aggressive buying off of the start, and then we tried to take the short, and it kind of worked, didn't continue. That's fine. We actually had a pretty good stop out. I had a technical error with my camera, but then we did get to this point of zone. Still haven't changed it. Still at the same spot, right? So like, look how perfect that rejection was. But then even on a rejection, it's not always going to continue down. I noticed that, hey, we might be consolidating. So around here where it looked like it should have flushed, looks like it should have flushed, and then didn't, and then it looks like it should have flushed and just kept buying up. I just noticed, hey, this could be a bull flag. Did I have it correct? Absolutely not. So I had it here, and I thought we would kind of break out. So when we got here, I purchased, and my stop was here. Like I said, it was about a 1.5 to 1 R trade. And then I bought again down below. Stop was here. And then we continued. And then by the time the video had ended again, um, actually cut had an error and didn't even download or save to my file. So I do have storage, check that. So we should be good to go next time. But interestingly enough, we're back into this exact range. I just think that's cool. But yeah, more to come and hope you enjoyed the video.